Hey everybody, welcome to Comic and Collectible Treasures. I'm JD, aka Ragin Cajun Comics. If it's your first time to the podcast, uh, this podcast basically is going to cover our family, friends, and the community and get to know them a little bit better. My guest today, or I should say my brother today, is one that I just get choked up because I met this guy back in, red light, green light days when this pandemic started, and we just started talking. He's your friend and mine. Uh, Other than what I can say, he was dubbed and honored the nickname the Mayor, and he just drops so many great content on his YouTube channel. So please check him out if you don't know who he is, but everybody knows who he is. My brother, your brother, Justin, aka Knowgood Comics.
Dude, man, JD, man, you can get me all choked up here. We're just starting, man.
Dude, shout out to Poizon Dragon Comics, who got us mixing up and talking, which
Big
I
time.
love.
Big time.
I can't say enough about that, brother.
Dude,
welcome.
dude, I appreciate it, man. This is first, let me just say, first on top of the first, happy belated birthday, because that's exciting, and I saw you posting that before, so good stuff there. I know we were talking backstage. Glad that you had a nice weekend. And then on top of that, I love that you are on YouTube and that you're doing this, that you have a show, and that you are putting content out there. I mean, I know you've been putting content out there, but just I love where you've gone with this platform, and especially knowing kind of where you started off and how we first, while we first started talking. It's just really awesome to kind of see. So I'm pumped for you, and I appreciate you having me on as a guest.
No, the thank you is you. I thank you for getting me on your show for the first time, which gave me the courage to do this. You're one of the three that I always say thank you to, which is you, Spinetix, and Sith Lordly, and Hip Hop. Because without you guys, I don't think I would have the courage to do this. So thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
Thank you, brother.
Likewise.
But before we get to see all your beautiful treasures that you have in your collection, which we know you have a lot of them, your wallet tells us.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to the chat,
Yep.
our community buddies and brothers and sisters. See who we got out here. All right, we got HK Wifey Sheena. Thank you for stopping by. Always, the great one right there.
He's the best.
Yes, I love her. And in October you're gonna go see her, right?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Nice. And then we also have Speak of the Devil, Sith Lordly, Spinetix. Check that brother out. He's at 1,000 up and down, so let's get him over that so he can get that 1,000 on his show, man.
Hell yeah. And you just had him on this channel or as your guest last week, right?
Yes, I had him last week, dude. That guy had me rolling, man. I was crying. My ribs were hurting.
It was a great episode.
I can't say enough. Oh, here we go. Jeffrey Chow, what's up, brother?
Mr. Jeff.
Popping by, yeah.
My man.
We got somebody we love, Hey, Justin, what's up, brother?
Doing it all at once, man.
You're everywhere. Nice. And Big John's here in the house. What's up, John?
Oh,
Thanks for stopping by, brother.
that guy.
Oh, and the anime, my brother. He's gonna be my next guest in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Actually. Yeah, I can't wait to see all his stuff, man. He has some sick stuff just like you, man. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Oh, Savoy Collects. What's up, brother?
Got to meet Michael.
Yeah, dude.
Good guy.
I gotta be like you, knowing everybody's name by their government name.
The more you catch up with people, the more it'll come to you.
Yeah. All right. That looks like everybody we have right now. Thanks for stopping by and giving some love to Justin and anybody who catches the rewind. So, brother, back to what I was saying. We met at Poizon Dragon.
Yeah.
And I've been on your show, which I love to death. I love watching.
Thank you, man.
You just started about 2 years ago collecting, which
about 3. Just hit 3. I just hit 3.
That's right. We're at 3 now. I can't even tell how many years.
Time flies, man.
Yeah. So I've known you for about 2 years now.
Yeah. Yep.
Time flies. All right.
Cool. How crazy is that, man? How crazy is that?
It feels like a year.
Right.
That's what it feels like. You're a busy cat, and yeah, dude, what was that episode like 5 or something?
Yeah, you were early.
Yeah,
you were an early episode.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So you started collecting. I know you're an X-Men fan. Is there anything that maybe somebody new watching this channel and checking you out for the first time, that all the stuff that you love, what you got from your collection? Let us know what you love.
Man, dude. So I mean, I had a lot of different things, and I know you said, about 6 items. I try to, collect a certain amount of things to put around me so we could talk about, some of these things, and they all have some sort of, special sentiment to me. They're not all necessarily worth money per se, but things that just mean something to me, and things that have come up in my collection over time, and they're not all comics either.
Nice.
But I do want to start with a comic book, and you bring up a really good, a good guy and a good friend, someone I actually haven't seen in a little while now, but I know he's very busy. But you talk about Rich and how his IG, live streams, his claim sales that he used to do back on Friday nights, back when during the pandemic, during like the heat of the pandemic. And like you said, you and I, we just, started talking through that. And so big shout out to Poison Dragon Comics, because like you said, without him, we probably, or I don't know how we would have met. Maybe we would have met afterwards or whatever, but we've had so many nights together, like hanging out and having hilarious laughs. And anybody who doesn't know Poison Dragon Comics really should look him up. He doesn't do the personal claim sales anymore. He's a big time baller now, and he does a lot with like Elite Comics, and he's doing a lot of busy stuff. And I know he's a local vendor to me, so I know once more of those shows open up, I'm sure I'm going to see him at some shows. But he's a really good guy. So my first book that I wanted to show just kind of ties into him, and I think you were there for this, and correct me if I'm wrong. And if you weren't, then you this was like the one night you missed. But do you remember this book right here? You remember how special this book was? So for those of you who don't know, this is Avengers 12, and this is like, the legit Avengers 12. My earliest Avengers book, very old book. I think, let's see, I wrote here, 1965 is when this came out. And I have on the back here, I put little notes for my books. Right. And and so one of the things that I wrote, and usually what I do is I write, when I bought it, how much I bought it for, the date, who I got it from. So this is from Poison Dragon Comics. It's from, I bought this in June 16th, 2020 is when I got this. Oh, there's Paul, yo, the shake. He was there. So this book, so I wrote on the back on my notes, I wrote mint condition. And then I wrote shakes very well. So the reason for this, anybody who doesn't know what this is about, Poison Dragon Comics, Rich, he was selling this book as a I don't know what he put it at, like a VG or whatever it was. And I think he wanted it, like, I think it was bidding, it was like $50. It was just a claim sale. So he's like $50 for this thing. And somebody asked, hey, can you take it out of the bag? Can we take a look at it? So he's like, sure. And Rich is always down to show off a book. He'll always, explain things. So he takes this thing out of the bag and he's like, showing it off, flipping through some of the pages. He's like, yeah, everything's good. Everything's attached. And or someone asked if someone's attached. And he's like, yeah, everything's attached. And he takes the book. He's like, look, I'll even shake it. And he had it like this, but just not in the bag. And he starts shaking it, and literally the whole book fell out of the cover. So this $50 book literally went from his $50 to nothing, because he said, all right, this is no longer for sale because I just ruined that. And he was about to move on to the next book. And that's when we were all like, no, we want to buy that book from you. So he's like, oh, really? He's like, okay, well, we can auction this thing, I guess, if you guys really want it. So I remember we started the bid. You were in that, like, we just started throwing money in there. And this thing ended up going for, what did I pay for? $26.
About 20, yeah.
I paid 26, and that was the winning bid. And I was so determined. I was like, I want this book, not because it's like worth anything, but for this very story that I'm sharing. And it was amongst friends, and it was amongst good people. And it's something that I'll never forget as part of my experience as a collector, and especially as a collector in this age of the pandemic and having to adjust the way everybody had to adjust. It just brings so many memories, man. Yeah. And I'm glad that you're part of that, because this was such a hilarious night. And even to this day, when I see him, and make sure, Ragin, if you see him, you ask him, you say, what's shaking? That's the
Yes.
question. You say, "Hey, man, what's shaking?" And he'll get you. He'll understand immediately. So
I
that's
got
my
an
first book.
I got an Elite one day, and I bought a book just to show love. And
Yeah,
I go, "What's up, Shake and Bake?" And he started, "Oh, what the
yeah,
heck?
yeah.
It's JD. What's up?"
Dude,
Oh, I
gets me
couldn't
every
stop
time.
laughing that day. Oh, that's memories right there. And
Right?
we had my brother from another all-star right there, rated PG,
Yeah, Paulie.
Paulie. He was
Yeah,
the
man.
other guy that was with us all those times, which is
Yep.
cool because I have him next week, and he's gonna show off some of his stuff.
Oh, dude, I gotta catch that. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
so
That's
I'm trying
very
to get
cool.
him into the YouTube world, like you got me into it. I'm trying to get him into it.
Nice,
So,
nice, dude.
uh,
Yeah, Paul could definitely do this, man. He could
yeah, dude,
definitely do this.
he can chat up with like nobody else, man.
Yeah,
So check that guy out on Instagram. I'm gonna put his info on the bottom, like
yeah,
no goods. But oh man,
absolutely.
that's memories right there, dude.
So that was the book I went to grab when I went right before we went live. I was
Okay.
like, oh, I wanted. I told myself earlier, I'm like, I got to make sure I find that thing, and it wasn't where I initially thought. So that's why it took me a second. But yeah, there he is. There's Paul. Always good times, man. The Friday night stuff, it's cool. And unfortunately, it's not around. I know everybody's got different schedules, and I know Rich, he has other things now. But I'll never forget those days. Those were great days.
Oh heck yeah! And he always had some killer tunes going with it, so it always was entertaining.
Yes, that's how he stood out to me. Like that, he was unique and he was just funny. He had an accent, he's got the New York accent, very energetic. And actually I have to give a shout out to Murci Collectibles over in Sweden, because Andres Murci, he was the one that told me about Rich, which which I think is amazing because he is in Sweden. So I had a guy in Sweden introduce me to a guy in New York.
Oh, wow.
And who I now met you,
Yes.
we're all connected. But I was like, man, I always give credit to Murci because he's the one who's like, you should check this guy out. He's right near you. He's in New York and or Brooklyn or wherever, maybe Queens now. But anyways, it was great. So yeah, I just like how we're all kind of connected. You know what I mean?
Dude, Murci and I were chatting and talking about his land, where he lives and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. I got introduced by you, so it kind of worked out perfectly. So
yeah.
Now I have another buddy right there, so that's a small world, dude.
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
Very cool.
That is sick.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, you start off the show with the great memories right there, brother.
Dude, I had to.
Dude,
so I don't know what direction you want me to go in.
Any way you want, but
yeah, okay.
Before you continue, I'm gonna throw a thank you for introducing me to indie books.
No doubt.
And also this book, without you, I wouldn't have. Because when we start talking and we're just talking about indies, and then you start your channel, I jumped on these, and I have to thank you.
Oh, damn, dude! Yeah, I am so glad to see you jumped on them when you did.
Yes, without you, I wouldn't get this because I'm just DC, Marvel, Cat, and then I would get like a couple of Dark Horse. But an Image was Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. I'm a zombie freak. I love zombie movies. But without these, without you, I wouldn't have these.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I just want to say thanks, brother.
Hell yeah, man. That's dope.
You bringing that up on your channel made me want to get it. And I went to my LCS. I was like, hey, I need the Stray Dogs A and B cover. And then you showed it on that. And I was like, oh, dude, I have to get it. So
that's awesome.
Without you, I wouldn't have it also. Thanks, brother.
Dude, man, that's so cool to hear because this is what I love about the part of the hobby of talking with friends and talking about the books that we read and collect. It's like hearing that kind of stuff where it's like that's cool. You wouldn't have gotten that stuff otherwise, but to know that it's something I had like some help or influence of. Saying like, hey, this is a cool book I enjoyed. And you and I have very similar tastes. And, anything you recommend, I trust and vice versa. So it's like, I love that, so it's really cool. And congrats, man. Because obviously Something's Killing the Children is a massive book. And I didn't buy that book. And unfortunately, I should have. Nah, dude.
I find it for you.
Dude, oh, man.
I tried. I even called my LCS, so Undercity Comics. Shout out to them. That's my LCS.
Nice.
They opened a shop for me during the pandemic. And I was basically VIP'd by myself.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Like, hey, shop as long as you want. But I had to drop money because I go, dude, you opened the doors for me. And I was digging in there looking for some for you. And I couldn't find one, man.
Dude, I'm just glad you got one, man. I'm good with my trade. I'll stick with my trade paperback. But that's dope, man. Yeah, some classics, some great stories, and like you said, like modern stuff, modern indies. I'm glad you're getting into it. I went to see the dogs. Oh, my dogs are not here right now. They're actually They'll be back. They'll be back later tomorrow, actually. But anyways, yeah. So very cool, very cool. I'm gonna shift gears here a little bit.
Yeah, go for it, dude. This is all about you, brother. Let's see what treasures you got.
So these are, I grabbed like 3 or 4 of them, but I grabbed some vinyl, and I know
nice.
Sith had some vinyl before he talked about on your last week. This is a band that it's probably my favorite band ever. It's Mastodon. They're a heavy metal band from Atlanta, and they're like psychedelic, progressive metal. I don't know. Nice. They're all over the place. They have a lot of different styles. It's heavy. Some of it's really heavy. So what I love about these vinyl, I mean, other than the fact that it's vinyl, because I collect a lot of vinyl. I used to collect a lot of vinyl. Is that the artwork on some of these that kind of tie into my love for comics is like just seeing some of this stuff here. And let me flip through here. So like this beautiful like horse. It's like just some really dark stuff. Yo, what's up, Steve?
What's up, brother?
So like it's like
cover.
Yeah, like a horse on fire almost.
Yeah.
So it's those two, and then and for those who didn't know, I used to have a heavy metal podcast back in the day. So probably about 9 years ago, 8 years ago, or 10 years ago. I used to do, me and a buddy of mine, we had a whole heavy metal podcast. We used to write reviews for heavy metal bands and new albums that would come out. And most of these bands were not from the States. Most of them were like really unknown, all different styles of metal bands. Razorblade, kind of like Razorblade's style. Hey, there's Murci, dude. We were just talking about you, man.
Ears are ringing, baby.
Yeah, dude. We were just talking about you, man. That's awesome. There's some other like just unique, like I really should find out who the actual artist is because it's really unique stuff.
Dude, I am digging the covers though.
They're really cool, and like even this, like very abstract.
Oh, that one's nice.
Yeah, like really stands out.
Is there a shirt like that? Because that's badass.
There is. Yeah, they got posters, shirts.
Oh, that one,
all that stuff. And then yeah, you should check them out too. Sometime, JD. The music is very unique.
Everything I'll do. New wave, heavy metal.
Yeah.
I'll do speed. I'll check it out. I do like R&B, everything. And my closet's full like 800 CDs.
Nice.
I'll totally hit it up, dude. I'll check it out, dude. Nice.
Very cool. So that was like. Yeah, just some, and I didn't even, and the other piece, it kind of goes, this is actually a different band, but I met him at the same time. And maybe some of you in the chat might know, I got this signed, it's a CD, and I got this signed by Brendan Small. He is the creator and writer of Metalocalypse. So are you familiar with Death Clock and all that stuff? Yeah. So one year, Mastodon, the other band I was just showing you, and Death Clock went on tour. They were co-headlining together, and I got to see them back to back. And I happened to know the wife of the sound engineer that did Death Clock. So he invited me and a friend, my friend who I was doing the podcast with. He invited us backstage, so I got to meet the band, hang out with them, get stuff signed, and it was back-to-back nights. So I actually get to hang out with them back-to-back nights, and then I even got to meet some of Mastodon. Some of the guys that were there as well. So I got pictures with them and, just hung out with them. And again, this was probably 12 years ago at this point. Amazing. But Metalocalypse was like one of my favorite shows at that time. So
cool.
For the Adult Swim stuff. So I've just put this in a nice little case because, I just thought it was something cool to kind of have.
Memory, dude. That's badass.
Right?
You get to meet them and everything and take pictures. Oh,
yeah, man.
That's the stuff I love, dude. That's the stuff I love.
They were cool, man. They were really cool guys. And it's funny because, if you listen to the music, Death Clock, it's like, this guy with the really heavy growling voice. And then if you meet this guy, he's just like this skinny nerd white guy. It's just like, hey, like, wow, you're the guy that like does all these like, things. And he's like a crazy heavy metal guy. But you just wouldn't expect it. I don't know.
That's cool.
So yeah, very wild. So that was like the music stuff. I don't know what direction I should go here. So this next thing I'll show, I actually want to see if I could show or share my screen real quick for a video. If that's possible. Do you know how to do it? If I send this to you? Hold on, let me
Yeah, you're giving me advanced stuff here. Let's try it.
Let's see. Chrome. I'm gonna share audio. Okay, so you should get a little thing at the bottom.
So just click on it, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. So the next thing I want to talk about is my Magic the Gathering collection. And this right here is I used to, I mean, it's more than a collection to me because it's a game, and it's something that you need the pieces to play, or in this case the cards, you know.
Okay.
So it's something that I would buy not so much to collect, but to actually be able to participate and play, and not just play, but play on a more competitive level. So
Okay.
this video here is one of the times that I made like they you know have featured matches for a really big tournament. This was in Philadelphia, and this was, let me see, the date was I don't think that's the 2018. Does that sound right? I think it's 2018, either 2017 or 2018. They might have uploaded it a year later. But anyways, I'm just gonna show like 15, 20 seconds of this clip. But just to give you perspective, like this was my life for a while. I was like on a grind of just playing Magic the Gathering. I was traveling, to different places and actually try to win tournaments where you could win like thousands of dollars. I mean, it was a big, people do it for a living, or they were before the pandemic. So the guy that I'm playing in the blue shirt on the left, his name is Mike Durzo.
Okay.
And he's a local pro. He used to be professional. He was like on and off the pro tour. And I actually had played him many times locally, just at some smaller events. So this was my first time where I was on a big screen. And then of course I'm like, damn it, I got to go against, Mike Durzo for this. But I'll just give you guys a quick glimpse here. I don't know if this will play all the way, but we'll see.
Great. Even Huntmaster of the Fells might be a pretty good card here.
Depends if you're able to keep just enough of multiple lords.
Turn 1, Island into Aether Vial for Justin LaRoque. And it's going to be a Birds of Paradise for Durzo off Basic Forest. See just how fast of a clock LaRoque can present. On our other matchups, Durzo's team actually, look at these deck choices. Colorless Eldrazi and Legacy. They're the only colorless Eldrazi deck in day 2. Madcap Moon, that's just crazy. And then green-red aggro in Standard. They might be in the top 8.
I'll turn this off now.
I'm checking it out.
But
I've never done Magic. I always thought it was too complicated, so I never dabbled in it. But that's pretty badass, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's it's a very fun game. It's good with whether you're playing just with friends, family. I taught my girlfriend Lindsay how to play, like and we would go like Friday night Magic and stuff like that. So I have the deck here, and you can see like the deck box on the screen and stuff, but this is like more or less the thing I was going to show here, and you can close that. Right. But I'll just take out some of the cards, because the artwork on some of these things are really cool too, so even in terms of from a collector standpoint. So just grab some of these here. So I don't know if these are going to really show well, but these are like basic islands, like just the artwork for some of that. Like these are considered like expensive islands. Okay. Island is a basic card. It's a basic land type, and they make like thousands of this type of card called an island, but this is a rare version of it because it's got like a special design. So you could if you wanted to buy an island, it should cost you like 2 cents, like literally like 2 cents, and you usually need like a bunch in your deck. You need like 20 in your deck. So for me though, I bought these fancy ones, and these are like $5 a piece, and I have like 20 of them. So to give you a little idea of like it can be an expensive hobby. And then I have like Force of Negation, just a little bit of a newer card, Master of the Pearl Trident. So I saw Sove Collector in the chat, Michael's talking about it. He knows that I used to play a lot of what's called merfolk, which are like those the merfolk. So that was just like the creature type or whatever. But anyway, so that's like part of my I don't really like to call it like a collection in that sense, because it's more of a game to me anyways. But it's probably stuff I'm never going to sell or get rid of. So I guess in a way that kind of defines itself as part of a collection, right? At that point.
That's cool though.
So yeah. So
one day how to play that, because I play board games like Catan. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Yep. I've seen that game. Yeah.
And I try to get you to play the online game so we can play. I love playing that. I'll play that like every other day with my nephews, and I'm competitive, so
yeah,
I hold back. I don't hold back.
Don't hold back anything, right?
Crazy.
So that's what I love about it. Yeah, if you have a competitive side to you, it's like you'll definitely like. And that's how me and my girlfriend, when we play, like, we don't let up on each other. Like, we're really trying to like kick each other's butt like every time. So
Yeah, I see you guys play your games.
yeah. We have game nights and all that stuff. That's what I was doing during the pandemic too. Was like Friday nights, I'd be hanging out with you guys on Rich's stream, and then and meanwhile I'd be playing, board games like Yahtzee and stuff with my girlfriend. So
Yeah,
those are always good times.
no holding back, because when I play my godson, we go miniature golfing. He's
I see you.
I'm gonna beat him, dude. I'm not gonna hold back.
You're like crushing this 11-year-old.
He's getting better though.
I love it. Yeah,
that competitive part where
it totally does.
I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's great. Yeah, dude, we'll have to play sometime, man. Like you said, it can feel like a complicated game, but I think you can slowly get into it and be introduced to certain aspects of it without, going too crazy over, not understanding certain things. But so that's Magic the Gathering.
I didn't know you collected that, so that's something new I learned about you, which is
there you go.
Cool.
There you go.
Check out the video and see how you did on the game and everything.
Yeah. Oh, I should have. Did I lose it? I think. Here, I'll drop. If anybody wants to like watch it later, I'll drop it in the chat because it's it is cool, and I won't tell you guys how I finished, but I will say this for that event that you were just watching. It was a team event, so it was me and two other guys. You saw two other guys next to me, and we were playing against the other three guys across from us. The winner of that was going to go on to top 8, which is like playoffs, which is like a big deal. So that was round 15 in a 2-day event. So day 1 we went 7-2, 7 wins, 2 losses, and then day 2 you had to get to a certain point in order to go into the final 8 pairings. There was like 300 teams.
So you're a baller in this thing, man.
So it was just that's why we were on camera. It was a big deal, like of that moment of whichever of these teams win, are going to go into that next big, opportunity to win more money and all this other stuff. So, here, I'll drop, there's a link there for anybody that's, actually, I don't know if it'll show up or people have to highlight that, or I could send it to you later. Okay. Ragin, you could drop it in the thing.
Nice.
But so that's that. It's a good game for sure.
Try it out. See her. I know you and I are both competitive, so I'm
yeah.
Once I get the hang of it, then I go full
exactly.
That's cool. See, I learned something new. I think everybody learned something new about you, brother.
Yeah, man.
I like that.
Michael says MTG will consume you. Yes, it's very true, man. It's an addicting game for sure. It's kind of like poker meets chess in a way. Like it's very strategic. It's way more than the cards. Like the cards are just they're just a playing piece. It's like playing with like a knight and a rook. It's more than that. And I say it's like poker because there's a lot of like you can bluff, you can read your opponents. You have to think 5 to 7 steps ahead of them, so it's a combination of those two games in a way. Only you're dealing with wizards and goblins and, dragons and all that fun stuff. So,
nice. I can bluff like poker. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little tell I'm giving you.
Big time. Yeah.
That is sweet.
Yeah, man.
Now I'm intrigued to check it out.
All right. So next up, I'm going to show, that's like my third thing here. Let's see here. I was trying not to go to too cliche with like some of like the I guess what would be obvious parts of a collection of sorts. But so this next book I wanted to share was it's actually part of a collection that was given to me. And this is just something that goes back to the community. You guys know how much I love the community, and I really think that the community is what makes the hobby of collecting comics even that much better. It just amplifies it. And anybody who reads comics but doesn't know about the community, like I hope that they get into it at some point, because it really is a game changer to be able to just meet great people like yourself, have relationships like we do, friendships, and really long-term, and get to know people. And then on top of that, like do things like giving, and I know you and I have both been there for each other, when we need certain books and things like that, which I always love, that another great aspect of that. But I want to show this book here. This is X-Men 14. And all right, so this is an old book, obviously, and for anyone who knows it, it's it's a good amount of money. It's probably gone up even now at this point compared to what I got it when I first got it. Now this was a gift, and this was just partially a gift that I got from someone in the community. His name's David. He actually is no longer on. Well, he's on Instagram, but he doesn't go by his name anymore. He used to go by OmniDude. So anybody that knows OmniDude of that time, because he got off probably right around the pandemic, I think, is when he really like stopped following, comic, he's into other things. He's into like music and other aspects of collections and stuff like that. So he wanted to kind of separate himself a little bit, but he no longer does, single issues or floppies. And his name was OmniDude. So if you can imagine, his whole collection was all omnibus. He just had a wall of omnibus, really impressive stuff. So one day he hit me up and asked me if he showed me a picture of like all this and like a stack of singles. He's like, hey man, I'm just trying to get rid of this stuff. I don't even want to try to sell or anything like that. He's like, do you just want this? And at that time, I didn't even know this was in there in the pile, but I said, sure. Are you sure? Like, I thought he was messing with me because he lives like down the street too. That I should say that. So he's like probably 20 minutes away from me. So he hits me up and he's like, hey man, yeah, I'm tired of having these. I'm trying to clean my house and I literally just like want to throw them out at this point. So you want to take these off my hands? And he's like, at least I know they're going to a good home. And I'm like, sure, all right, yeah, if you don't mind. So I go over to his house. We hang out, we have a beer, we talk about. He shows me his whole collection. He shows me all the different books that he's given me. And this was one of the books in the pile that he gave me. And even at that time, like I wasn't a big X-Men fan yet at that moment. So taking this, like I knew it was an iconic cover, but I didn't realize like what he was giving me. Like, I don't think I realized like, what he was giving me. So now that I have this, obviously this is a forever book. This is something I'm keeping in my collection forever. I showed this one particularly because it stood out to me the most. And it's, obviously in terms of like the iconicness of it. But there were a bunch of other books in there as well. X-Men 16 was in there. X-Men 39 was in there. And then he gave me a bunch of like rare variants that were like, some of them were like they're like a couple $100 now. He gave me the one that's like the Venom and he has the gauntlet on his hand. Oh, okay. It's like a purple. Yeah. It's like a rainbowy type of cover. I can't even think of the artist at the moment, but so he gave me like books like that, like, and then a bunch of like Walking Dead books and all this other stuff. And the one thing about this guy, and shout out to David if he ever catches this, he knows I've talked about some of these books before, but like, having these like really just reminds me of community and the fact that like you can just be so connected with certain people or just trust other people and give, as Murci's saying, just gifts like to one another. Like, it's really amazing. And he told me, he's like, I'm giving these to you because he's like, I know who you are. Like, I know you're a good guy and that you're not just going to go flip these on eBay the next day or something like that, And then the other thing is when he was giving me those books, it was mostly Marvel and it was a few indie books like Walking Dead and stuff like that. And then he had a stack of DC books and I turned down all the DC books at that time. and let me just say, he had like a 9/8 Scott Snyder Batman issue #1 signed. Yeah, he had like he had Nightwing 8.5, which spoiler alert, that's in your collection now. That was one of his books, and he tried to give them to me, and I turned them down because at that time, people don't know, like people see me now, and I always joke and say like I'm not a DC guy, but at this point, I think I'm okay to say I'm a DC guy. With everything I'm reading now. But, for a while I was like, I'm done with DC. Like, I don't want to collect DC. And then in fact, I don't want to have these books just sitting. I was like, they're just going to sit in my collection and I'm not going to care for them, or I didn't think I was going to care for them. Now I'm like, it would have been nice, I guess, if I probably should have taken, some of them. But even that kind of showed him that like where my head was, where I'm like, he's giving me these books and I'm like, I appreciate it, but like, that's just not for me, at least not right now. So the X-Men and the Marvel stuff was what I thought was really cool. So then as a favor, I helped him sell some books because afterwards he was still like, well, hey, look, like I still want to get rid of these books. I really don't want to deal with eBay. I had, I created a little seller page that I barely use, but he was like, oh, I see you have a seller page. Like, if you want to try to sell some of these DC books for me, I appreciate it. You can, take a percentage or whatever. And I ended up just selling them for him because he was so nice and, giving me all these big books. So that was something to me that I wanted to do, just to help him sell some stuff. So that was one that I sold you, was that Nightwing book. And it's funny because right after I sold you that Nightwing book, is when I kind of started reading Nightwing 78. And I'm like, whoa, Nightwing's awesome. I'm like, oh, now I kind of want Nightwing stuff. And I'm like, oh man, I just literally sold it.
You're my brother. It can go back to you.
No. You keep I will tell you, if I have looked at Nightwing again, that book. If I do get it, I think I would splurge and go for like a 9.6 or a 9.8, or have it like a signed copy, one or the other. If I were to, go that far.
So people don't know, that's my favorite DC character. And I have 2 Raws when they were in a 25-cent bins.
Wow.
And then when I saw yours, and I was like, I want a graded one, but I want it from somebody kind of, now I have the story behind it, which even makes it even more better.
Totally.
I wanted it from somebody I knew, and I was like, what, he's trying to sell it. I'm going to give money to him because I trust this guy, and you're one of my brothers. So I
man,
totally
likewise.
said, I'm going to ask him. I'll buy it off you.
Yep.
I didn't care what grade it was. I just wanted a graded one.
Right. And I remember even that book sat on my, seller page for a while, to where I even dropped it down like $10 less than what it was, or 15 or whatever, at that time. So yeah. And at that point, again, the guy, David, just kind of wanted it to get it out of his collection or whatever. So I'm glad that we all can kind of help each other in that sense. Yeah. And, you're able to get a good book, and obviously one that I know you care a lot about, in terms of the character. So, I still need to read that series. So I think once I read that series, maybe it'll connect me even more to the character. But right now, Tom Taylor Nightwing is really the only Nightwing I know. But,
that is a great start. And actually, that one issue that you started with did choke me up, because I have every run except the 52. This is when I stopped collecting.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to finish that story and get it all back.
Wow.
I missed all of that.
Right.
But any other doubles or stuff that you need of the early stuff, hit me up. I have doubles because I didn't have like the CLZ app. That helps me a lot because I forget what I have.
I hear that.
Doubles of stuff. And that's crazy. So there's stuff I'll bring your way so you can read up on the older stuff.
That's cool, man. That's
that
cool.
Character. Nah, but that's an amazing story. Now I'm gonna truly treasure that slab for sure, man.
Yeah, man. Please do. Please do, man.
But all of the great things about that is another part where I want to show you is how great you are and how we connect. You sent me an AOK back a while ago, and I wanted to show you one of the books that actually is a filler for my X-Men run. And I do appreciate you. That's how, close we became. And you sent me this. You bought it, you want it on an auction, and you sent me a box of X-Men, which was cool. And I was looking for this one in newsstand. It is a newsstand book, so that's badass too. Yep. You sent me that, and the story behind it where you're just helping friends, and you just sent me this without really meeting me, and we just started talking, and I do appreciate you for that. And this is one of those books that I'll keep in my PC forever. Yep. Because this is like awesome. My first AOK, and I truly appreciate you for that, brother.
Dude, man, that that's so cool that now that was one of the books, because I remember, and shout out to Kachung. That was him and his wife Delphia over on Instagram. If you follow Kachung over there, they're really good people in this community as well. And that was something I wanted to do to help them out and to hook you up. It was like a dual, AOK in a way. So they were selling those because I think they were trying to clear some of their collection, or they, and they need to, make some moves and stuff. So, and I like their aspect of things, and the way Kachung and his wife put mystery boxes together. They try to build things based on a person, what a person likes. So I said, I'll buy one of your mystery boxes. And they're like, great. What do you want in it? And I go, well, it's not going to be for me. I want you to, I want to have this be sent over to JD over at Ragin Cajun Comics. And they're like, oh, that's even better. Like, that's so cool. Like, they went and looked at your page, but they asked me, like, what else are some of the things that you like? And, I know you're a mutant brother. So I was like, definitely X-Men, definitely some stuff has to be in there for X-Men, amongst other, I gave him like a little list of things. So, and that was just really cool. I remember when you did that video and kind of opened opening that up and showing it and reading, the card. Cause I asked them to like write a little card, tell them it's from me. Cause initially when you first saw the package, it was from them. So, I was
thought it was shipped by accident. I was
let
like,
them know. Right. Like,
so I did the video and I opened it and I read it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
but
dude.
It was cool that they gave me a bunch of Michael Turner covers that I've never seen. And it's like stuff after he passed away, which was cool.
Yep.
And I was a big Michael Turner fan when he first was out. And
nice.
I have that collection box in a solo box, and saying that stuff I don't sell.
Yeah.
Even though I don't sell anything, but if I do decide to sell to make room, those are not leaving a PC.
Yeah.
So,
that's
thank
awesome.
you for that, brother.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I wanted to go back to that comment that you had highlighted earlier. What's up, Bricks? The one from Murci, who said, Justin helped me hold a book back when we barely knew each other. Yeah, never forget it. So Andres Murci, he had bought a very expensive book. It was First Craven, ASM. What is that? 20 or earlier than that, 12 or something like that.
I would have to look it up, but I know which book you're talking about.
But so First Craven, and he had it in a really nice grade. Now I can't remember the grade. Maybe it was like a 7.0 or something like that. And he bought it from, I think, Elite Comics at the time, and they were shipping. He bought it and they were going to ship it, but I don't think they shipped it, out of the States or whatever the case may be. And so I told him that if he wanted, he could ship it to me. And then I can hold it. What's up, John? I told him to ship it to me, and then I can ship it over to him. And if he wanted to do something like that. So, just to his point of what he was saying there, like, yeah, we kind of didn't know each other that well. I mean, we were getting to know each other at that point. I think we had started like, FaceTiming each other and stuff like that. Cause, I talk to Murci fairly often. I feel like, and especially during the holidays and stuff. And I feel like I've gotten to kind of know him, just as an individual and not even comics related, but, I consider, Andres family to me as well. And so that was cool that I was able to do that for him, where I'm holding this, over $1,000, type of book in a high grade. And then finally I was able to ship that out to him. It was like in the middle of the pandemic too. So that was the other thing. Oh, 6.0. There you go. Issue 15. It was a 6.0. And I remember telling him, I said, what's up, Glenn? I remember telling him too, like, we're in the pandemic. I don't want to go to my post office right now, but when I can get there, if you don't mind, I'm just going to wait like a couple months. So, he was like, no rush at all, and I think I grouped it with a couple other things. Actually, at that point, I told Andres, I said, if there's anything else you're buying in the States, have it shipped to my house, because I'll just put it all together in a box. And so I think he had like a Batman book show up to my house, and I was like you. He forgot to tell me, like, as a heads up. And I get this Batman book. I'm like, I don't think this is for me. And like later, he's like, oh yeah, sorry, I ordered that. You could just put it with my other book. I was like, oh great. So it's nice to have those little surprises or whatever. But I see my sister Reese is in the chat as well. What's up, Reese? So that was just a cool little thing there, which again, kind of, we're just talking like family here. I like how we're having these memories and stuff and like bringing up like things like that. So that was a good one too for Andres. He's a good guy. If you guys don't follow him, you should.
I'll put his description on the bottom so you guys can follow him. He has amazing books too.
Yeah,
I always check out his Instagram stuff, and dude, that guy rocks. He's
totally
super nice. I consider him family too.
He's one of the best. Yeah.
I told him whenever he comes to California, he has a brother over here he can show and just hang out.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I see John saying it must be nice to be wanted, I guess. John, you'll get there one day, my friend. One day.
I finally met him for the first time. So John.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
On this side too, man. You got another California brother here on your side, brother.
That's great.
Did you catch dude, his reel was hilarious. Trying to copy you.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. He's cracking me up, man. We had another friend. I know you did one too. That was great. We had another friend, Bearded Comic Bro, who actually did one. He didn't share it publicly, but he sent to John and I, and just him. And he actually went to a spa. So it was even funnier because it was like kind of mocking John, who showed a spa earlier. So really funny stuff. But yeah, that was hilarious. I actually want to. Oh, this was the other book. Since John is here, that was the other thing I wanted to show. One of the other things. So this is the omnibus, of volume 1 for Uncanny X-Men. Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Dave Cockrum, Terry Austin, amongst others, that have really worked on this and have teamed up with this crew through this time. For those who don't know, this is like my run. Like, this is like why I got into X-Men. This is why I have love for the stories that Claremont writes and the artwork that John Byrne and Dave Cockrum have done, and Terry Austin. And this was, so I know we're talking about like collections and treasuries, and this is probably not anything too rare. In fact, you could probably buy this on Amazon right now for like under $100. But it's very special to me because of the fact that my connection with John, who's in the chat, and us doing this show, putting together Omni X-Men, which, by the way, we are going to start soon again, the season 2, later next month, so end of September. But this has just brought so many great memories in the past year, just with hanging out, not even just with John, but just everybody that we had on as guests, and everybody that's in the chats all the time, and anybody who we just talked X-Men with outside of the show in general. This particular book and omnibus is really special. So it's just been an awesome journey to do and to be part of and to talk about. Again, it all goes back to just the other favorite part of this hobby, which is not just reading the books, but talking about the books with your friends. And that's just something that's so special. And like we've been talking about, the memories that you create with friends and individuals, it's just been so awesome. So it was this omnibus and on top of all that, this is my first omnibus. So that's how it kind of, it brought me and John together, because John bought it for the first time. That was his first omnibus. And I was in love with seeing this too when it was first coming out. So I'm like, oh, I have to have it as well. So, we both bought this and we're like, oh man, we should like start a show. And it's just turned into so much more. So, for anybody who, follows us there and watches the show, we'll be back with season 2, but that's another piece of my collection that I wanted to talk about today, was just to have, as something special, something that stands out to me, and something that, has a story, kind of like all these stories that we're kind of, talking about. What's up, Dave?
What's up, Dave? I always watch your show on the rewind.
Yeah.
I always have to do something at that time, but I love watching that show. You guys
Thanks,
get
man.
Everything is badass, dude.
No, I appreciate it, man. It is cool because it's like, I like the breakdowns. Like, I like what we go panel for, anybody who doesn't know, we go panel to panel and we really break down like the writing, the style, the story. We have a lot of laughs because there are some things back then that were just silly, but it's just part of the times, and so, just another different angle. And again, it was just something that we all were able to like collaborate on and read together and talk about together. He says, I'm curious if Justin ever got a copy of the second Omni for himself. No, John, I do not have volume 2. I never got a second copy. No, I still have your first that was that was donated. But for whatever reason, the second one is like a $300 book now. I mean, just like everything else that goes up, nowadays, unfortunately, it's like crazy. But that omnibus is harder to get. But I do plan, we do giveaways. So anybody, again, doesn't know the show, we'll be doing more fun giveaways with that too. So I gave away my omnibus volume 2 as a gift and a way for, giving back to the community. So, it's just been a lot of fun, the whole experience. So, JD, we'll get you on the show at some point when we get that going again. And I know your schedule might, we'll line something up where we can work that out for our Tuesday nights.
I'd be honored to be with you two guys. But
yeah,
I try to do once and try to win. I'm slow typing, so I can never win.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, well, some of those guys like Chet, they're just like on the ball with like ready to, him and Magic Lasso. Like,
dude, I can't beat that. I was like,
right, yeah. Exactly.
Nah, for sure. I love that show. I always catch it on a rewind, and I watch it on YouTube TV. That's like the main thing. Nice. Right? I just lay down and just chill.
Yeah.
So definitely can't wait for the season 2, man. That'll be awesome.
Very cool. I'm gonna go with this book here, And again, just about community. It's just about community. This is Secret Wars issue number 1. Nothing too fancy other than that it's part of a really cool story arc and saga. It's a Mike Zeck cover, so awesome, classic artwork there. But the extra special thing about this particular cover is I received this as my very first AOK ever. And this was in the first year that I got into collecting comic books. And I got this. Big shout out to my friend Chris. I got Issues. Issues was the one that got this for me. He lives, all of 10, 15 minutes away from me. He's someone that I met on Instagram, and we found out that we went to the same LCS, and we just started talking from there. He shops over at Zap Comics as well. And this was a book that I remember I was hunting down. This was one of my first collections that I was trying to get, like in terms of like a completionist, I guess you would consider. So I had issues 2 through 12. And for whatever reason, I just couldn't find issue 1, or, was having a hard time getting a copy. And I was just talking to him about it, Chris. And immediately he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I have an extra copy of that. I'll drop it off at Zap next time I'm there. And I'm like, oh, sweet, man. That's really cool. Like, let me know what I owe you or whatever. He's like, no, man, it's cool. I have an extra one anyways. It's fine. He's like, it's just, for your collection. So you have it. And I just remember being so blown away. Like this was new to me. Like the idea of like AOK, like I didn't even know what AOK meant at that time. Like I just knew this was a gift, and it was something really nice from somebody who didn't need to do that. And they did it anyways. And we were just getting to know each other. So this is like, it just like opened up my viewpoint of the community and understanding that there is a community, and that there are good people out there, there are great people out there. And so, Chris being one of them, he's just such a great guy. And he's given me he hooked me up with Nightwing 78, the foil recently, that foil
nice.
variant.
Posting that.
Yeah. And so, it's just like always ongoing stuff. And I've thrown some stuff his way before, and we've hung out, a bunch of times at cons and other things like that. And so again, just another really cool experience, and a memory that I'll always have is knowing that I needed this one last issue, and Chris came through, and was just like, and I was just like, I can have it. Like, what do you mean I can, like, like, let me give you, let me at least pay for it or whatever. And because we went to the same LCS, like he didn't even have to ship it. Like I literally showed up one day, and the owner, Corey, was just like, oh, hey, I have something for you in the back. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So, so it's just cool. So again, just going back to, memories and things like that with community and books that I'm never going to sell. That just means something to me. That's something that always stands out to me. So if you guys don't know, Chris, I got Issues. He's a great guy too. He's over on Instagram. He doesn't do much on YouTube anymore, but he's, he's active over on IG.
Yes, he is. I follow him. He's a great guy. Oh
yeah,
man, that's a super cool one. And that's the same thing when you sent it to me. I don't know what the heck what AOK was.
Yeah.
That's badass though.
Yeah, man.
I love that story. That story arc is awesome.
Yeah, and let me clarify too. Anyone who doesn't know, because people are still learning as we go. It does mean act of kindness. So I like to throw that out there in case if someone's new to the hobby and is just watching this for the first time or whatever the case may be. Because I still get the question all the time, like what is it exactly? So act of kindness. It's just a gift essentially. Just doing kind to others.
Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
What do we got? What does Sheena put up? I love Sheena.
She's the best. She's the best. Yeah, John Stout just said I googled AOK. There you go. I don't know if it would come up.
I do that the first time.
Yeah.
It's like the little short things you learn in the comics. When I was out of the game, I never heard of any of that stuff, so that was kind of new to me. Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, it's amazing. 2 great stories. Justin, I can't believe we have a great community, and I do love all of them.
Hell yeah.
I'm always looking out for stuff for certain people that need it. So, I think everybody here is just that great. I do appreciate all of them. So shout out to all you guys out there, man. You guys are great. That's why I love hanging out with you guys every week. It's like better than being out there in the craziness, right? We have each other, which is cool. I also wanted to show just one book.
Yep.
Well, actually not a book, since it was my birthday. Shout out to my sister. I just wanted to show this because I know she's going to watch the rewind.
Nice.
I want to thank her for getting me this for my birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this is a shout out to her because I know she's gonna get embarrassed. But Rosie, I love you. Thank you for this. She knows I've been getting into Legos lately, so she bought me that. So
Very cool.
Shout out to my sister and all the community that gave me love for my birthday. I appreciate you. This is almost at the hour mark, brother. Time flies when we're talking and just having fun.
Seriously, man, it really does. It really does.
So, just in case there are people watching the rewind that don't know who you are and then want to follow you, please give us a little insight what you have upcoming. If you have anything new or just your regular shows that I love watching. And again, I'm going to say thank you before you start. Without you, I wouldn't have my indie side. I do appreciate you. So
That's
thank
awesome.
you, brother.
Hell yeah, man. Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me on the show, for your friendship, for your brotherhood. It's just been, we've been growing together, throughout this, past 2 years. And it's just really cool to continue to get to know you, to see you being supported by the community, all the people that are here now, people that are subbed up to your channel, people that are following you over on Instagram. I hope more get to know and meet you because you are a great guy, and what you bring to this community is what it's all about. So I really appreciate everything that you do, and I wish you the best luck as you continue to grow here on YouTube, man. I love that you're putting yourself out there, and I know it can take a lot, when you're new at it and you're just jumping in for the first time. But I love that you got a show now. Even you're putting out recorded content, you're putting out live videos, like all this different stuff. So I love what you're doing, man. I can't wait to see you and Paul talk it up next week. So that's going to be awesome as well. And yeah, for me, Knowgood Comics, if anybody, looking for me over on Instagram, that's where I basically live. I live over on IG for the most part. I do put out YouTube content and live streams and stuff like that as well. So you can find me on YouTube. As far as the shows go, Comic Collector Origins, which we talked a little bit about earlier, that's like one of my babies, my favorite shows that I love to do, because it's about the community and it's about interviewing those who are just either whether you've been collecting or you're just brand new or whatever the case may be, just getting a glimpse of where your origin started, how you got into this hobby. So that's been a lot of fun, and that's every Saturday, 2:00 Eastern. I will say these past 2 Saturdays I haven't had a show, but life's gotten a little busier. But next week I will be back. So 2:00 this Saturday, September 4th, I will be on with Comic Man Andy. So I'm really excited for that. If you guys get a chance. And then, like I mentioned before, Omni X-Men, that season 2 is going to start up again soon with John. So if you guys are X-Men fans, or if you're just looking to have a good time and hang out, even if you don't read X-Men, it's a good time, and you could learn about the issue as we break it down. But we basically break down, different issues from that Claremont run. So based on the omnibus. So that's going to be Tuesday nights again. We'll have more information for that as we, kind of set that up. So September, probably towards the end of September. Other than that, I have a bunch of different pre-recorded stuff that I've been starting to put out more and more of. I have a top 10 new picks, top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day each and every week. Every Thursday it comes out that talks about the following Wednesday's new comic books. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm picking up and what I'm talking about and what I'm reading, then check out that list that airs at 12:30 on Eastern every Thursday around lunchtime. And then, I have a bunch of other little segments and ideas that I'll be putting together, and I collaborate with different people, and, doing a lot of book clubs and things like that. So anybody ever want to talk comics, anybody ever want to, whether it's live on a show or just, personally in a direct message, either way, I'm always down to talk comics. It's what I love to do with, with the community. So, that's basically it, man. Again, JD, appreciate you, brother. Had a blast doing this, man.
No, amen to that, brother. Your reels are hilarious.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Keep it up. You and D, oh man, you guys kill me, man.
Thanks,
But,
brother.
Shout
They're
out
fun.
to Anything Everything ×2.
Yes.
Where she threw the challenge out. They're gonna do their 1-year anniversary, but they're not doing new books anymore.
Yeah.
So they're shout out to another group that you introduced me to, and it is local to me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
5 minutes away. And
yeah, you've met up with them, right?
Yes. Gabby and Noah, they crack me up. I love them. That's another thank you. You gave me. You got me to,
Yep.
meet up some great people. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see their anniversary sale and show some love and, see what they got. I don't know if they're going to stop the Instagram thing or not. The way we're talking that they're getting busy now. So
yeah,
I understand that, but shout out to them.
They're good
Hit
people.
them up on Instagram if you want to see some great items you want to buy and at decent prices. So,
yep.
I'll probably get misty right here with all the three people that I love the most in this community that I've learned to call brothers, and everybody else that I'm getting to know as brothers. You and Steve, Hip Hop, and of course Sith Lordly. Without you guys, I wouldn't do this. So I thank you, and I do get I'm losing my voice because I'm talking about you guys, especially you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
So,
I appreciate you, brother. Man,
don't
get me all teary-eyed, man.
I love you guys.
Likewise, man. The feelings are mutual, bro. Really, like it's so cool. I know we keep talking about like community, but it's so awesome to be able to meet good people and build these friendships that are lifetime friendships. I mean, I one day I will say that this is going to be a goal, is to meet up with you and your family at Disney World or Disneyland, excuse me, because I love that you love Disney so much, and I know you were just there, and I know you go, fairly often. I wish I could do that. Being in New Jersey, I'm nowhere close to either Disney World or Disneyland, but I do love Disney, and I love everything about Disney. So, when I see you at Disney, it's just awesome. So that's a highlight. That's something that we will do at some point when I get over to the West Coast. And I know we talked a little bit about Vegas, and maybe that's something as well that we can work out down the road too. But either way, tons of fun in the future. Lots of things that you and I, we're going to plan to do. We got to get sushi, we got to, maybe we'll go see a football game together, things like that. Like, there's plenty of good stuff to keep in mind as the world, hopefully opens back up and gets better. So plenty of good times. So again, Ragin, bro, everything you're doing, man, I appreciate you just as a person and as an individual, and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Likewise, man. Keep up the great work. The content is awesome. Your reels crack me up, like I said before. I wish you nothing but the best. And when I hit New York, I'm going to totally hang out with you, brother.
Please do, man. Yeah.
I'm not a baseball fan, but I want to go to Yankee Stadium.
It's all right.
Game.
Yeah.
Like Dodger Stadium, I'll just go for the hot dogs and nachos.
There you go.
I'm totally down to do it. I love traveling. So once this craziness goes away, then I'll definitely meet up with you, brother. If you're on this side or I'm on that side, I'll be down there.
Absolutely. Hey, I see Steve in the chat saying, "What about sushi?" Hip Hop's to me, and then the other Steve Swine6, yeah, screaming Disney. I love it. I know those guys are big on both of those things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some so we can hang out. We've been hanging out more, so this community helped me out and find some brothers here in California. So
yeah, that's dope. I'm glad that you're able to meet all those guys, man. West Coast says there's some good people there. So, and shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody's been hanging out here.
Dude, 11 people, the most I've had in a while. So
that's awesome.
I appreciate all guys. See, they got to check out the mayor too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So we come to the conclusion of this episode. I do appreciate you, brother. You have a great week. Everybody in the chat, you guys have a great, safe week. I'm going to be checking you out, and we're going to hang out more and just chat like this because I get to see the face to face on a camera, which is amazing.
Hell yeah, man.
So everybody, you guys have a great week. Just love you.
Later, brother. Likewise.
Nothing but love, and you guys all be safe, all right? Peace.
Later.